welcome to the first edition of Andre and Melball on OLE.
Yay!
We are here to do weekly, semi-weekly, whenever there's big stuff to talk about in Japan. Me and Melball are going to come here. We're going to give you the update, the weekly, whatever, semi-weekly, whatever it is. We're going to give you the Japanese update. We're going to tell you the best stuff to go check out on the big shows of them all. So please come and join us here on OLE for Andre and Melball.
Yay! What an intro.
I tried.
We have had an exciting end of the year and an exciting start of the year for professional wrestling, specifically with NJPW, which I believe we are discussing here today. Andre, what have we got to talk about with the beautiful people?
So we are here to talk about Wrestle Kingdom 18, and we're gonna jump right into it, ladies and gents. Ooh, I did the wrong thing. There we go. That's better. I had it set up and then I broke it. We're gonna talk Wrestle Kingdom. We're not doing the whole show. We're gonna give you some highlights. It's gonna be a quicker show. This is gonna be a weekly update. We're not going to go our usual hour and a half as we do over on another channel. If you want to check that out, it's Andre and Melball Wrestling Talk. If you want our in-depth analysis on every match, Wrestle Kingdom 18, January 4th, 2024, and it's crazy we're already there. The first match kicked off the main card was Francesco, Akira, and I can't. What was it called? They had a weird. It's a Filipino monster, like a legendary monster from the Philippines. Is what he's just. I can't remember what it was. Now
I missed that part as well. I'm sorry.
It's breaking my brain. But he was dressed up as TJP, dressed up as a monster. They were taking on Clark Connors and Drilla Moloney. Really good opening match. I don't think I could ask for better. Like, just because, again, Catch 22 is probably both of us one of our favorite tag teams in New Japan, regardless of division.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Beautiful full clip onto the floor by the War Dogs to Akira. In that beautiful trio stomp from TJP to Drilla Moloney, that spinebuster stomp and elbow drop.
Yes, that was great.
Mm-hmm.
I think he just kind of pulled that out of his fanny, just based on what it was that he was kind of feeding into. He was going to come down on him regardless, so he might as well just make it look like it was planned.
Yeah, and Akira hits this beautiful Spanish fly off the top to Connors, and then goes over Ospreay flop to the floor onto Connors on the floor. Really good, and then they Catch 22 win it with the sandwich knee strike to Drilla Moloney, and they get the win. It was absolutely tremendous. I didn't actually expect to see our boys Catch 22 win the titles here.
Mm-hmm. This was a surprise for me too, because War Dogs had just debuted the white strap IWGP championships with the War Dogs side plates. So I was like, oh, if that isn't a stamp on the gasket, for pun intended, for this one. But man, what an opener to Wrestle Kingdom. And I am seeing that NJPW has a really great template for these shows, starting the show with Catch 22. This is the second year in a row that we've started with Catch 22 in the opening match. And holy, as you like to say, boy, howdy. These guys know how to bring that energy and get the crowd ready for the rest of the show. But man, Drilla Moloney and Clark Connors have been on, literally and figuratively, a warpath this year and have dominated everywhere that they have gone, whether it be independently or cohesively or with the rest of their War Dog little buddy system there. They have just dominated where they have gone. So the end did come as a surprise to me also, but I was pleasantly happy because the gold is back where it needs to be in the United Empire.
Mm-hmm. Very much so. And again, I can't help but recommend any Catch 2 match I watch. It's just I love these guys.
They're so good. They're so good on their own, but together they're just absolute fire.
Yeah, yeah, very much so. We're gonna move on.
Mhm.
Give you some highlights here. We're gonna talk about. I think it was a match that I think a lot of people, North American fans, would have tuned in. Would want to tune in to Wrestle Kingdom for, because you have Bryan Danielson going to a rematch with Kazuchika Okada, going to his home turf this time, going to Japan. I guess it wasn't even on Bryan's home turf as it was in Canada, but that's a forbidden door. But it's in Japan and not in North America. This match was like, I know you aren't the biggest Bryan Danielson fan, or Daniel Bryan fan, whatever you want to call him. I am.
Doo.
Yeah, I am a big fan of this dude. This match would, but like these two absolutely killed it in this match though. Like they worked their gosh darn hardest. Um, Okada does a DDT on the floor at one point. He goes away and he comes running to do a drop kick, and Bryan just comes out of nowhere with a flying knee, and then he starts slamming Okada's arm in the gate of the barricade.
Nasty. Ouchies.
Yeah. Okada hits this crazy tombstone on the apron. And then he's in the ring stomping on the face of Bryan right in the eye, which has the eye patch on it, and he kicks it off
Mhm.
and then drop kicks him in the
And like
face.
kudos to Bryan for the rest of the match. He wrestled in a wink. He had that eye closed the whole time.
Yeah. And then he hits him with a drop kick to the face.
Yeah. I mean, but it isn't Okada if he's not drop kicking someone.
Yeah, but again, to do it in the face of the guy with the broken face. um, yeah, a lot of great back and forth here, but these two just the strikes that both were landing on each other, and it just they were just beating the piss out of each other. Um, Okada getting out of the label lock and getting into a mount and just raining down strikes on Danielson, just brutalizing him was absolutely tremendous. Gets a German, they trade kicks and strikes, and Bryan hits his Busaiku knee, just leveling Okada, but can't get the win here. Okada dodges another knee, hits the Emerald Flosion. Bryan goes for another knee once he recovers. He gets a drop kicked in the face. Okada hits the Death Valley Driver, and then the Rainmaker, and Okada gets his win back over Bryan Danielson. They are 1-1 in singles matches, but overall, Danielson is 2-1 if you include the tag match.
Which we don't.
I do.
Yeah. And this was a match. It was a very North American match. I'm not a big Bryan Danielson fan. I did struggle to enjoy this one a little bit, but he's growing on me. I mean, it took Zack Sabre Jr. years to grow on me. Now I appreciate his technicality. So maybe it's because I saw whatever he was before. That was my introduction to him. So
Mm,
that's kind of been pounded into my knowledge and brain of him. And unfortunately, a lot of the conglomerate that is WWE at that time is the person who was before WWE didn't exist. So, I don't know a lot about Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryanson. I don't why we mess with names. Um, but this match was great. Um, I love watching Okada again. He took kind of a year. This last year, he's kind of been like quietly traveling and doing his thing. He's not been, shoved down our throat like the John Cena of the past. He's kind of been put on the not on the side, but like he's not been made the main attraction while still being a main attraction. And it's worked very well for him because now, as a fan who was getting bored of him, it's reinvigorated my interest in him, what it is he's doing, and where it is that he's going to be going.
mhm.
So, this I think was a match. that I think Okada needed in Japan, but also that I needed for Bryan Danielson because I enjoyed this match, and that's not something I always say about that Blackpool Combat Club in general. And
It's
I've been
true.
saying it about them, seeing them in NJPW. Shocker.
Hmm. And again, and just no, Bryan Danielson's coming back in February for the New Beginning tour. He's gonna be working a couple of the big shows. So like, the dude's
Hmm,
not done. The dude's not done with New Japan. I'm excited to see more of this dude, and just to see how he,
appreciate that.
yeah, just to see
I
how he
think more people
works.
should be doing that.
Oh, 100%, 100%. But you were talking about
Mm.
how Okada wasn't shoved down our throats this year. We're about to talk about the guy who was completely shoved down our throats this year. It's Sanada defending against Naito. Not Naito. Sanada was shoved down our throats this year.
Oh,
Until
yeah.
until this match, I had no care for Sanada. But I
Mhm.
think it was this because going into this was the main event of the show, not our main event of this show. But I wasn't super hyped on it. I was like, I just want to see Naito do his roll call. That's all I really cared about this match. But goddamn, did these two have a barn burner of a match? And I finally saw some passion out of Sonata.
Yeah, we saw some charisma, we saw some emotion, we saw some intensity and a range of intensity. It was great.
Yeah, again, it was a guy who's been kind of having a bland year. Um, I think the only other time I saw him have any real emotion, um, I'm gonna say Hiromu,
Yeah,
just because there was a connection there.
the history, yeah. Arguably, the same could be said about this match too, though.
Yeah. Again, it was the
Mhm.
connection. And even the Okada win when he won the title didn't seem super like passionate. And again, he just the way these two went back and forth with each other, each doing each other's moves. Naito hit a deadfall, Sonata hit a Destino. Again, both these guys were
He
just
tried. He tried
murdering
to
each.
hit Destino.
He hit a Destino.
Yeah,
Let's say
it
that.
was. Yeah, it was questionable.
Yeah, but these two had such great flow together. Other than that one move, again, you can see the history, you can see the camaraderie, you can see the familiarity from these guys working together for so long that they just got it right, in my opinion.
Finally,
And then post match, when Naito's going to do it, Naito won this in the end. He hits the deadfall, then he hits Valencia, which is his brain buster, follows it with the Destino, and he gets the win. So he goes for his roll call. This is what he got denied 4 years ago with Kenta. And Evil attacks, Evil and Togo. And the crowd is so livid at this point. And then it shows Evil standing there. Great low angle shot. I've rewatched this a few times. Him with holding the belt up in low angle and out of the frame. Shining Wizard by Sonata to get rid of those two. And you can see the like look between Naito and Sonata, the Naito appreciation to Sonata. He says some stuff about him, and then the guy leaves and he's crying, and you're like seeing this pure emotion coming out of Sonata. You're like, this is the guy I want to see going forward.
this is the guy I wanted to see last year when you won the dang title, sir.
Yeah, but
Why did it
and
take losing it for us to see that charisma and emotion and intensity and everything?
again, I don't even when he was part of Lij, I don't remember him having that much charisma and intensity. So,
It was a quiet charisma. It was like almost like that silent henchman that's looming
mm,
there. That's kind of the vibe he felt. And when he needed to, he kind of almost he was almost like I don't want to say a badass, but it was like a very similar kind of mentality. It was intimidating. It was menacing, but it was a silent. menacing. Now that he became this this guy, the waterbender over here with just 5 guys and the shampoo endorsement, um, he he started talking more, and I think that's why I kind of realized that he has no personality. That was not something he trained, clearly, while he was training, which is a shame because he's such a tremendous wrestler. But that lack of charisma can really make or break his matches. So how many times has he been in that main event situation and totally dropped the ball?
Mhm.
Like so many times. This was what we needed and what he needed.
Mhm.
And I hope that we see that emotion going forward with him in this year because that's the champion that we deserve.
Mhm. Very much so. I really
Mhm,
hope it's an evolution for the guy going forward.
mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
So we move on to what was the third match from the top, but our main event of the evening for the IWGP Global Championship, the inaugural match. It was David Finlay. He came out with Gato, and then you had John Moxley come out in a very cool DC inspired Red Hood tribute show. He had the domino mask on, but then he had across here he had a mask over his face, and it was like red and styled like Red Hood. Oh, I loved it. And I was
And the
thinking,
jacket too, the jacket, very Red Hood.
yeah, had the jacket look like the Red Hood armor. And then I'm thinking that's really cool. And then we get an Assassin's Creed style entrance. Assassin's Creed stuff plays. Ospreay rolls out. He's got the black jacket on, top hat, and he lifts his hand up and he's got the blade coming out. And all I could think was, I literally said to him like, "Oh, he's doing Jacob Fry from Assassin's Creed Syndicate." With oh my god, I was like, it
Mm.
was that was the look, and it was so exciting. Great entrance, and then we got into the match. Holy poop! Like these three, like this is the best I've seen Mox probably since 2019. Personally, I think he's done good stuff in AEW, but I think the best stuff he's done since he left WWE was the G1 in 2019 and this goddamn match. Because boy, howdy, did yes he bled. It happened. So did
It
Finlay.
made sense though. It wasn't like his normal stuff where you just kind of look over and oh crap, he's bleeding. Where did that happen? It made sense that he was bleeding. Kid
Mhm.
got hit in the head.
Yeah, and again, it was just to watch these all guys the way they worked, and like everybody, like I think a lot of people wanted Ospreay and Moxley. That's what they were setting up until Finlay interfered in the was that the show last year. But it was having working Finlay into this and it was elevating Finlay. Like I love my Ospreay, but it was elevating Finlay in this match, and I think they did. They to me they did it, and they made him look like a goddamn superstar in this match. He broke his nose in this match.
I told you.
Yeah,
Told you.
yeah. There's so much good stuff. There's a
That flip kick there, that double flip kick that Osprey did, his knee definitely met Mr.
well, no,
Finley's face.
that was the
But
moonsault. That was the moonsault to the floor. But that's where the knee cracked the face of Finlay.
yeah.
Yeah, that was just brutal. But yeah, there was a beautiful Death Rider where Moxley lifted Osprey up, and Osprey did the full flip forward and came down right on his head, and it just looked like he murdered Osprey with it. It was so good. Like these guys. Then he proceeds to like pile drive Finlay onto Osprey while simultaneously booting Osprey in the face.
Yeah. Yes. It was a good little comedy spot that Moxley, I think, is known for in these
Mm-hmm.
kinds of matches, where he just does random things that he finds amusing, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe that he finds annoying, and it just ends up being amusing to us.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, but again, just an incredible match. Yes, Coughlin and Gabe kid interfered, but they put them away by putting them on tables on the outside. Ospreay hits a swanton off the top to the floor. Coughlin goes through the table ass first, so he's like in the table. It was so fun.
Yeah, you guys got to remember the frames. The table has a metal frame that goes around the entire piece of the wood. So when you're going to put through a table there, you're not only going through the wood of the table, you're going through the metal frame of the table, which is why I get very scared if someone is not landing right in the middle of said table. There was a moment where Hikuleo at one point went through the side of it, and I was very scared because his neck would have been right where that bar was. And that's scary. I don't like it. But yeah, the way Coughlin was just stuck there was just hilarious. And like, what can you do? You're unconscious. You're there. So you're just stuck. It was hilarious though. This match, though. Oh my God. This should have been the main. Even though like the main was pretty good.
Yeah.
This should have been the main.
So the end of the match, Finlay hits a trash panda into oblivion to Ospreay, but can only get 2. So he picks him up, just goes for a curb stomp, but driving the knee into the back of the head to drive the face into the mat. Then he hits trash panda into oblivion again, and he gets the win. And boy, howdy, I was very okay with this.
Same.
Yeah.
And like I said, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You go ahead.
Like you had said at the beginning there, this was something that I'm not a Moxley fan. I haven't been a fan of his stuff in AEW. I hate that he's always bleeding. There's no reason for it. It's just gross at this point. This was the best. This was the best I've seen him. Not only physically, like he looked just healthy and cut and very focused and everything. But he also wasn't as blown up as he usually is. He usually looks gassed very quickly in his matches and he's sweaty and then he'll start to look pasty. This didn't happen at all in this match. Start to finish, he was good to go. Even when he was bleeding, he was good to go. It was great. Ospreay was the perfect, like all 3 of these guys had the perfect difference in styles. Ospreay being the aerialist, Moxley being the brawler, Finlay being the everything else. The 3 of them combined just put on such a tremendous match. And as you said, they played up each other perfectly. And that's something that I love about Will Ospreay is that he has that insane ability to elevate his opponent as much as him, because he recognizes if your opponent looks good, you look good. Everyone looks good. The company looks good. This is the overall goal, unless I am mistaken in this.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. So yeah, tremendous match. This was, as you mentioned, our main event.
Yeah. Again, absolutely tremendous and highly recommend because this is set up United Empire versus the War Dogs in a 10-man steel cage match on February 11th. That's also the show where Bryan Danielson is facing Zack Sabre Jr. in a rematch from Wrestle Dream. So I'm excited. That's going to be an incredible card.
Yeah. We'll probably have a review about that too.
Oh, we will. We will come at you with a review. So before we go, I want to drop the weekly calendar. Then we'll come back and do our sign off.
You got me hypnotized. Push me out of myself. You got me hypnotized. Whoa. I can see, I can hear, going crazy, brother, like it's got me hypnotized. You got me hypnotized. Can I get you out of my hand again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we're gonna sign off here. So you can find me on the X, Mastodon, Blue Sky, and Hive at That Canada Guy, TikTok, Instagram, and Threads at That Canada Dude. You can find me on Facebook, Andre and Melball Wrestling Talk. And if you want the long form version of what we just talked about, go over to youtube.com/at Andre and Melball Wrestling Talk.
Awesome.
Where can they find you,
Awesome.
madame?
If you're wanting to follow a Melball, you can follow her on the X thing at Collins Melball. You can follow her on everything else: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Mastodon, and Blue Sky at Melball Thoughts. You can also find me on Astro Pizarro's YouTube channel, where we do our Ladies Wrestling Showcase show, where we talk all things ladies professional wrestling. If you're wanting to watch NJPW, we will leave a link in the description box. It is njpwworld.com. It's 999 yen, or approximately 10 Canadian. Shout out Sean Spears, but it's more like 950 according to this guy over here. But it's an incredible price to watch some amazing professional wrestling. You can go in there and watch the show that we are talking about today. You can go in there and watch the Wrestle Kingdom from last year. You can go and watch any Wrestle Kingdom you want, because they're all on there for that amazing price. Andre, my trusted friend and colleague, do you have anything else to say to the beautiful people?
No, I just want to say thank you very much. Please subscribe if you aren't already subscribed, or follow our local establishment on Twitch. And if you want to subscribe to it, throw us a few bucks. We'd really appreciate it. And also go and check out the YouTube page at youtube.com/at our local establishment. Please check that out. Please support us over there. Like and subscribe to like the video. Subscribe to the channel over there. Thank you very much, and thank you to OLE for wanting us to bring our Japanese wrestling flavor talk to this channel.
Flavor. Going to Flavor Town, baby.
Flavor Town.
And that being said, I am your Mel. Over there is Andre. We will see you next time. Adios.